My name is Anna. I grew up in a small town that was held by the sea. It was a place where life moved with the rhythm of the tides. The people in my town were hardworking. They knew the sea. They were fishermen. They were boat builders. They mended nets with calloused hands and sold their catch at the morning market. Life was simple. Life was quiet. We lived by the sun and the seasons. The days were filled with the scent of salt and the sound of gulls crying overhead. The community was tight-knit, bound together by shared work and shared history. I was a quiet child, taught to listen. My father taught me knots. My mother taught me to mend, her stories weaving through the lessons like thread. One bright, sunny morning, a young boy named Mateo did not come home from the beach. This was not like him. Mateo was only 9 years old, a child full of life and wonder. He had a deep love for the sea, the jagged rocks, the small hidden pools left by the tide. He knew their secrets. He loved collecting the smooth, colorful shells. He had a routine. He always ran home with his pockets full of treasures just as the sun began to dip. But on that night, Mateo did not return. His family grew frantic. His mother's calls echoed along the empty shoreline, her voice filled with a rising panic. Soon, the entire town joined the search. Lanterns bobbed in the darkness, casting long, dancing shadows as we combed the beaches and the rocks. We called his name, our voices swallowed by the night and the surf. At dawn, as pale light stretched across the sky, we finally found him. He was lying on the rocks, not far from his favorite tide pool. He was terribly sick. Mateo had a raging fever. He was weak, barely able to open his eyes. He could not move his small limbs. The doctor said the water had made him sick, that he had been exposed to something toxic. Fear, cold and sharp, gripped our town. It was a fear we had never known. People began to whisper, using old familiar words to make sense of the unthinkable. "This has never happened in our time," an old fisherman said. "It is a stroke of bad luck," another murmured. "We must all be more careful now." But no one spoke the truth. No one said the words that needed to be said. No one pointed to the reason why the water had become so dangerous. The fear of losing jobs was stronger than the fear for our children's safety. A tight, painful knot formed in my chest. I could not sleep. I realized I had one thing. I had my voice. I sat with his mother. In a whisper, I told her I would speak. "Please, Anna," she said, "tell them." The very next day, I walked to the town square. The afternoon sun was hot. The market hummed with noise and movement. I walked toward the small wooden stage. My heart pounded. My hands shook. I had no grand speech, only a small, simple truth. I stepped onto the stage. "My name is Anna," I said, my voice trembling but clear. "I am here today for Mateo, and I am here for all of our children. The water near our shore is not clean. It is making us sick. We must ask the company near the pier to tell us what they are pouring into our sea. Our children play in this water. Our food comes from this water. We cannot afford to wait any longer." My voice felt so small. At first, many ignored me. A few laughed. But then, something shifted.
"She's right. The water smells bad now."
One by one, people found their courage. The mayor promised he would look into the matter and get answers. In the days following, the company responded. They released papers, charts, technical language. All claimed the water was perfectly fine. They insisted they followed regulations. We had our stories and fears, but no scientific proof to counter them. It felt like our voices were being silenced. Sophia, a nurse from the clinic, came to see me. She believed us. She wanted to help. She didn't have sophisticated equipment, but she could take samples. We walked the shore. She labeled everything, recorded time, location, observations. She sent them to a lab in the city. We waited 2 long, anxious weeks. When results arrived, Sophia posted them for all to see. The water contained hazardous chemicals far above safe levels. The company had been spilling industrial waste. With the lab report, we had proof. Disbelief turned to anger. Quiet concern turned into cries for justice. We presented the evidence. They claimed the tests were flawed. The lab made a mistake, refused responsibility. They sent lawyers. Intimidating letters threatened lawsuits. The mayor looked overwhelmed. They hinted at relocating. Jobs could be lost. Families needed paychecks. I felt small and isolated again.
"Anna, please. You have to think about our jobs. We have to be able to live."
I thought of Mateo, his mother, and the mother in the square holding her baby. I knew I could not back down. I could not be quiet now. Our fight was not just about water, it was about our right to be heard. We needed a new plan. We reached out to people with skills. The school teacher organized an environmental club. They learned to safely collect and document. Fishermen took photos and videos, a clear record of damage. Our movement began to gain strength. A young lawyer offered free advice, drafted letters to the agency. An independent reporter took an interest and wrote a powerful article. Little by little, our story moved beyond town. Photos and videos spread online. Strangers amplified our voice. 2 TV reporters arrived. They filmed the murky water and foam. Mateo's mother bravely shared her story. The report's stark conclusions were clear for all to see. The company could no longer hide. The city government had to act. The news report changed everything. The mayor called a public town meeting. The company was ordered to attend and answer questions. It was packed. Fishermen, shopkeepers, teachers, parents. Once untouchable, they now looked uncomfortable. They were forced to listen. The mayor ordered official testing. Independent scientists arrived with sophisticated gear. They sampled water, soil, and air. Their report confirmed what we knew: dangerous contamination traced to the plant. Faced with evidence and outrage, the company conceded. They funded a massive cleanup and overhauled waste systems. New filtration, secure containment, independent monitoring. Some jobs were lost, but new local roles emerged to run safety systems. Mateo grew stronger. The sea had hurt him, but not his spirit. Our town was forever changed. People started to talk more: weather, fishing, important issues. They attended meetings, learned reports, asked tough questions. They learned to collect samples, document evidence, and call the right people. Children made signs and sang for clean water. Elders taught new rules to protect the sea. I remember the fear and how my voice shook. My voice was just a spark. Many voices made the flame. Your voice can bring proof to light, invite others, and show a path when people feel lost. A voice can transform fear into action. Years from now, Mateo wants to be a marine biologist. He tells his friends, "We must always watch the water." Your voice may feel small, but it can start a wave of change. If you have a truth to tell, tell it. The world is waiting to hear you.